time to add the long-awaited effects. So we got effect container in the last video, I think. So we've got an effect array, which is just a load of effect components that we've added to the object. So let's create that effect object. As always, it's going to be abstract. We don't want this to ever be on an object itself. We want to have subclasses, something that builds upon the effect class. And I'll start with probably the most basic one, damage effect. Extends effect, stop. Okay, so effect is going to have some sort of perform. But again, this will be extracted a bit later on, probably the next video I make, into an effect queue or an action queue, so that other things can trigger off of it a bit more easily, a bit neater, without having lots of code loops looping in on itself, and then you end up with an effect stack that doesn't really work the way it should. So here's an effect. Let's just say I think IEnumerator perform something like that, or execute. I guess this will be abstract as well, since this won't do anything itself. The effects that build on top of this will have to have the effect. You'll need the user and you'll need the target. And then we need to implement the abstract class perform. So a damage effect, it needs some kind of way of telling how much it should do. And you don't just want to slap in a number here, because there's so many different ways you can deal damage that it really needs to have its own class. And potency is a good word for it. Power, something like that. Scripts abilities. Let's make potency. I didn't add this to the list here, but yeah, probably because it doesn't really work. Effect list would have something like damage effect, and then on damage effect you would have potency. On heal effect you would have potency. But on inflict state you wouldn't have potency. So yeah, maybe you would attach potency to using items like potions and things. So let's make a base of potency. And this is going to be abstract because we will build on top of this. And it'll need some kind of int, I think. Maybe something like result. And I'm assuming I'll need a user and a target. And yeah, this will be abstract as well, because the potency object itself doesn't know how to respond. So where would we stick this? There will be set potency that in here you will just set a number. Serialized field, private int potency. This is pretty straightforward. This might be a bad one. I'm just thinking in Pokemon there's a game that there's an ability that deals exactly 40 damage every time you use the move. This is essentially that. It's a set potency. You add the number here and it will just return that as the result. Doesn't care what the user or the target is, it's just a number. Dragon Rage is the Pokemon move if anyone didn't know. Always deals 40 damage. So that's set potency. You can have maybe set with variance or something like that. You know what, maybe I'll just use set potency but add in some kind of variance. So the variance is just a percentage up or down. So so I guess we still just return, but this will be potency divided by 100F to get 1%, multiplied by variance to get just the variance section of it. Okay. Minimum range is okay. Variance value is this, but we will math dot round to int. So we get a percentage here, 1%, multiply it by whatever the variance percentage is to give you that amount of percent, and then we will return random.range, and the range is going to be potency minus variance value to potency plus variance value. Plus 1 because it's non-inclusive, or it's exclusive. Yeah, so the lowest it can go is the potency minus that, the highest it can go is that. So if you leave 0 as the variance value, I believe, will always end up as 0 because it will calculate this, then multiply by 0. So it will just be the potency minus 0 or the potency plus 0, so that it will always be potency +1 though is screwing this. Okay, okay, we'll go for that. So I think this is maybe not 100% correct because it's exclusive, which means it leaves out the it leaves out the top value, but it's okay. If variance is not equal 0, then we'll do this. Otherwise, just return the potency. I think this is right. I may be I may be doing this when it absolutely doesn't matter. But if you're making a game that has really low numbers and the extra 1 point at the max could be crucial, then I think it's important. Okay, that's fine then. So now we have some kind of variance allowance, and that's fine for now. That's the only one I'll do at the moment. But later I will be adding potencies that are based on equipment. So maybe the the weapon damage is what you're basing the attack on, things like that. And you can also add funky potencies like the attack does, maybe it's a skill that does more damage if the target is a dragon, like dragon killer effects and things. You can also add potency that is, it will only deal damage if the target is undead, things like that. Because you may want to allow them to still target with the battle condition or target condition. You can still target the living with the undead killer attack, but it just won't deal damage. So yeah, there's all kinds of, as always, there's a lot of space for change. Alright, let's add this to our ability. Um, where? Where will we add this? Maybe we can add effects to separate objects, and that means we're what's the benefit of this? We can make damage effect, and then we can add potency here. Okay, yeah, that's good. That's good. Hey. Okay, what do you want from me? Doesn't return. That's all we need. So we'll have a private potency get return get component potency, and that's the benefit of having these classes on the same object. I can just grab the potency. So this is cool if you want to have a weapon that deals um, normal physical damage but also deals fire damage. You can just double that up and have the normal on this and then the fire on this, and it will calculate them and then deal whatever should be dealt. Damage effect, set potency. We'll just say it deals 5 damage. No variance for now. I'll just test that it does 5 damage before worrying about the variance. So anyone that is an ally and is alive, it should then reel off the effects from the effect container, it will attempt to hit them with the magic hit rate. And there's a lot of stuff here that hasn't really been tested yet. Mostly because there's no good place to do it. So again, it'll get put in the select target. So if this is a valid target, then we're going to want to attempt to hit. And this all looks terrible right now, but that's just how it is. We're going to test it here and then get the code out, extract it away into actions, and then it'll be much nicer. Attempt to hit. So we will then have target condition container. Maybe in here we can have some kind of perform effects. No, it's not really, because it's the effect containers. Do we have something on here? We check if it's valid, but we don't have a reference to the effect containers. So here's a target condition. We don't know how many containers we have. So inside this container, we will also have a private effect container array. And this just grabs all the effect containers, probably in children. Grab components in children, effect container. Um, Maybe perform effect containers. Pass in the user, pass in the target. And then we'll do for each effect container array. What do we have in here? Nothing. Effects? No, nothing. Okay. Effect array. Public enumerator. Perform effects. Passing in the battle unit or the user. Passing in the battle unit target. For each effect in the effect array. You know what? We will cache these. Because we don't want it running the get components every time. And I believe it's probably the same with the container up here. Yep, I've done the same thing. Effect container array equals that. So the whole purpose of this, if you just try and run this property over and over and over again, it's going to continually get components in children this, and then pick out the one you want. It's just very wasteful. So you may as well cache the result or get it in memory, and then you work with that, and it's already stored these components. It doesn't need to continually fetch them. So it's just a way of reducing the waste, really. Okay, perform effects, but this is an IEnumerator, which means you're going to have to do yield return perform effects, because this is also an IEnumerator. We can just yield and wait for each effect to happen. So in here we have caught the effect array, and we will effect equals that, and we have perform, which is an IEnumerator, pass in the target, yield return that, and that might be it. I've gone very loose with this, very fast and loose, so there might be a lot of stuff needing changed and fixed, but as always, I just like to get testing things and then we can see what's wrong with it. We will log something, awful, get rid of that diagnostic and add in Unity engine. Right, we'll just put in a string here, user.unit.displayName, damaged target.unit.displayName for, and then we get the potency. So potency result equals grab the potency and then result, passing in the user and the target. And so this number, potency result, is the damage we've dealt. So this will be either a set potency, or it'll have a variance, or it'll be any one of the ones we'll do in the future. Potency result, damage. And we can also actually do the calculation. Decrease by potency result. And then this should be it. We should actually see some damage happening. Very early stages of the system working. So attempt to hit. Target condition container. So we have private target condition container. This should be target condition. Okay, we've got all the containers. We've got, is this container valid target? Yep. Target. So this is this thing here. So we just run perform effect containers, and then that will attempt. Here we go, effect container. We shouldn't just perform the effects. We should be checking if it hit or not. If effect container hit rate. Okay, so it's private. We've got no access to it, which means we maybe just need to have a public function that will calculate hit chance. And I believe we need the user here as well, and the target. Yep, pass them in like that. So now we have a way of telling if the effect container hit or not. This could be more better worded, maybe something like did hit, or some kind of question. This calculate hit rate sounds like it's going to give us some kind of number. We'll make it did hit. Or was hit successful, or I don't know. This is fine for now. So target condition container dot perform effect containers, passing in the user and target. Oh, okay, we don't have that. User is going to be battle.turn.acting battle unit, and the target is going to be battle unit. Probably could be better worded here. Right, this should 6 references in one file. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, that's fine. Target battle unit. So that's a bit better. There's acting battle unit, target battle unit. The amount of times I've used this, I should probably cache that as well for readability. And probably the same with selected ability. But this is all going to change, so it's fine for now. The mantra of the channel. So on left click, for each of these containers, we're going to run this IEnumerator, which means this is no longer okay. Private IEnumerator perform action. Again, this is going to get ripped out of here. Area positions, so start, coroutine, perform action. We will yield return each of these effect containers, clear up a bit of space. Do we have a move position or anything? Nope. We can leave that in the above code just so we've still got a log of what's happening. I'm calling it move positions, not very good. Target position. So because we've made this an IEnumerator, we run the IEnumerator using start coroutine, and this allows us to now yield return, as in step through each container rather than just blowing them all at once. And then if we just follow it through, so perform effect containers. So because this target is a valid target of the target condition, we perform these effect containers, and then for each effect container we say, did this container hit? If it did, we will run that code, but that's not like that us, so I will say, if you didn't hit, then continue to the next one, otherwise yield return, perform the effects, follow it through. Each effect is being performed, and there we go. So that's us. Now what should we still need to add to this, because we couldn't do that with all the errors. So what do we need to add here? Effect container, magic hit rating, damage effect, set the potency, and maybe it's fine. So we should expect to deal 5 damage to anything that's inside the area that we're hitting. And it should tell us, but we should also keep a marker here. So we're going to attack this lady with 20 hit points. I'm going to put it there. Amy is a valid target, and it exited. It didn't seem to do anything, so that's maybe an error. If we go through, still got 20 hit points, so something didn't go right. We can get rid of this. We don't need to be spraying out all the positions we're hitting. We don't need the name because it tells us who is a valid target or not. So with that, just a little bit tidier. Also, right now we're not really bothered about coming in and out of the states. So I will just comment out the entered and exit state comments. I do want to keep them there because later on when we're doing some more tricky state work, it would be good to have a running log of where we are and what we've exited, etc. So let's see what's happening. So he's going to use, I wonder if he can't use it because of a cost. Oh, it costs nothing, costs no HP. Amy is a valid target, so what's the problem? Let's see. So we don't spit out what the hit chance happened to be. Maybe we just got unlucky and missed twice, which I doubt. So select target, perform action, area positions. Okay, so we spit that out just before performing the containers. So then we will debug saying there are effect container, right, two effect containers, and then let's see, effect container array I, effect container did hit. Okay. Um, Maybe we'll print out the container name, effect container dot name. So that'll be like damage effect. Otherwise, yeah, we want to explicitly say whether they hit or not. Effect container dot name hit. So let's just take it from there and then we'll see what happens in the next stage if that still doesn't help us. One effect container, it says it hit, but she has all her health and nothing else happened. So here we are, let's say same thing, debug.log. There are two effects, or one effect, two effects, whatever it is. And then we just want to perform it. So I'm thinking this will maybe return nothing, and this is maybe the problem. Did I forget to? No, that's still there. Yield return null. And maybe the potency isn't working. Okay, there are so many effects. Perform. Perform does have a comment, so let's see. We don't really need this. Okay, what does it say? Effect container missed. So let's go again. There are zero effects. That's just what I thought. Just what I thought. This is saying there are no container. There are no effects. So effect array is get components effect container. So this is probably get components in child. That must be the problem. Yep, here's our effect container and there's our effects. That's the problem. Get components in children. So now we should see something happen and hopefully see the health change. That'd be a nice surprise. Boom. Okay, we missed, so we need to go again. We missed again? Okay, we hit. Pete damaged Amy for 5, so when I flip to Amy, little witch here, should say 15 instead of 20. Oh, wonderful. Wonderful. So, that's the damage effect. I should be able to very easily add in a heal effect by essentially copying this and then increasing instead of damaging. So let's just do that. Again, when I'm renaming files, or when I'm copying files, it appends a 1 for me. It might do something else for you. But if you just double click with the 1, add 1 to the end of the title here, the class name, then you can Control R, and change it here, and it will change the class name and the file name. I find that seems to be the quickest and best way of renaming a file after you copy it. Potency result is going to be exactly the same because the the potency is just whatever we pass in. So again, if you want a different formula for calculating the heal value compared to a damage value, you can write that. You just make a different potency script and then use that instead of the set one that we've got. And then we'll say the user healed the target for that much HP. And then the target HP we will just increase by the potency result instead, and we have a heal effect. It's as easy as that. We still have inflict state, which will be another type of effect, but that will require adding in some kind of status effect or state handler for each unit. Each unit will have to have its own way of tracking which status effects it has. So I can't really do that right now. I think it's probably about time I started making action queues. Um, I've written one in the past that seems to work like a charm, so I may just load that one up and roughly copy what I've written, and then see if there's anywhere that I can improve on it. Because otherwise, I'm just going to be writing out the same code I've already done. Yeah, and part of coding, something I was taught when I was in school, is that um, you probably want to be building up your own library of code, little snippets or even large systems. Keep them all aside, and yeah, it just saves a lot of time, so you don't need to code everything from scratch all of the time. But for the most part, I will be going through it, so it's not like, if you're watching this video, it's not like you're going to just get nothing out of the next video, or I hope so anyway. All right, see ya.